You've been trying way too hard, overthinking, overanalyzing, chasing people who don't deserve you. And worst of all, you're gripping onto the idea that love has to happen your way, on your time. But here's the truth. Love isn't something you force. It's something you allow. And that starts with letting go. Letting go of past hurts, of expectations, of that endless need to control how it all unfolds. Because when you stop chasing, you make space. And when you make space, love, real, deep, undeniable love, finally has the chance to find you. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Not with vague advice, but with real actionable steps that will shift your mindset and your energy. Are you ready? Let's go. You've probably been told that if you want something, you have to go after it with everything you've got. That might work for your career, your fitness goals, or even learning a new skill. But when it comes to love, the harder you chase, the further it seems to run. It's frustrating, isn't it? You put in all this effort, texting first, planning dates, making compromises, only to feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill. And then, just when you think you're getting somewhere, the person you're chasing pulls away, leaving you exhausted, confused, and wondering what went wrong. The problem isn't that you're not lovable or that you're doing something inherently wrong. It's that chasing creates an energy of desperation, and desperation repels what you actually want. When you chase, you're coming from a place of lack, signaling to yourself and everyone around you that you believe love is scarce, that it's something you have to fight for, or worse, or that you don't truly deserve it unless you prove yourself. That's not an energy that attracts healthy, lasting relationships. It's an energy that attracts people who don't value you, or worse, people who enjoy the thrill of being pursued but have no real intention of staying. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem to naturally draw others in. They aren't out there frantically trying to make someone like them. They're simply living their lives, radiating confidence, security, and self-worth. That's what makes them magnetic. The difference between them and someone who constantly chases love is simple. They understand that love is about attraction, not pursuit. They don't need a relationship to feel whole. They are whole already. And that energy naturally invites the right people into their lives. So, what does it mean to stop chasing and start attracting? First, it requires a mindset shift. Instead of believing that love is something you have to hunt down, start seeing it as something that flows effortlessly to you when you align with the right energy. That means focusing on yourself, not in a selfish or closed-off way, but in a way that prioritizes your growth, happiness, and well-being. When you build a life that excites you, when you engage in activities that bring you joy, when you cultivate friendships and experiences that make you feel alive, you naturally become someone that others want to be around. This isn't just about playing hard to get or using some manipulative dating tactic. It's about truly embodying the kind of energy that draws love in effortlessly. When you chase, you're essentially saying, I need this person to complete me. When you attract, you're saying, I am already whole, and the right person will enhance what I already have. That's a powerful shift. It allows you to approach relationships from a place of confidence rather than fear, excitement rather than anxiety, and abundance rather than scarcity. One of the biggest traps of chasing is the illusion of control. You think that if you just try a little harder, say the right things, or do the right things, you can make someone stay. But real love doesn't work like that. The right person won't need to be convinced. They'll recognize your value because you recognize it in yourself. And when you stop chasing and start focusing on becoming the best version of yourself, you'll naturally attract people who match that energy. This shift doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing, waiting for love to magically appear. It means you take action in a different way by investing in yourself, setting clear boundaries, and only giving your time and energy to people who genuinely reciprocate. Instead of spending your nights analyzing texts or wondering why someone isn't prioritizing you, you'll be too busy living a life that fulfills you. And that's when love finds you. When you're not looking for it, but when you're ready for it. The irony of love is that the moment you stop chasing it, the moment you release the need to control it, is often the moment it shows up. Not because you gave up, but because you finally let go of the desperation that was pushing it away. When you embody this mindset, you become the kind of person that love is drawn to. Not because you're playing games, but because you're standing in your worth. And that is what makes all the difference. Letting go of past baggage is one of the most critical steps in allowing love to find you. The truth is, we all carry experiences from our past, heartbreak, betrayal, disappointments, and even childhood wounds. These experiences shape us, but if we're not careful, they can also weigh us down, keeping us stuck in patterns that prevent us from moving forward. If you find yourself attracting the same type of toxic relationships, fearing intimacy, or pushing people away even when you want connection, chances are your past is still running the show. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to let go of past baggage is because they don't fully process their pain. Instead of facing it head on, they suppress it, distract themselves, or jump into new relationships hoping that someone else will heal what's broken. But pain doesn't just disappear because you ignore it. It lingers beneath the surface, influencing your thoughts, actions, and expectations about love. Unresolved pain can make you defensive, distrustful, or overly cautious. It can make you settle for less than you deserve because deep down you fear getting hurt again. Or worse, it can make you self-sabotage a good relationship because you're unconsciously expecting history to repeat itself. The first step in letting go is acknowledging that your past pain is real and valid. Too often we minimize our own experiences, telling ourselves that we should be over it by now or that it wasn't that bad. But healing doesn't work on a timeline. It requires honesty, being willing to sit with your emotions, understand where they come from, and process them in a healthy way. This might mean journaling, seeking therapy, or simply allowing yourself to grieve what was lost. The goal isn't to dwell on the past, but to fully release the emotions that are still holding you back. Forgiveness is another key part of letting go. And this isn't just about forgiving those who hurt you, it's also about forgiving yourself. Maybe you stayed in a toxic relationship longer than you should have. Maybe you ignored red flags, made mistakes, or put your trust in the wrong person. But beating yourself up over past choices won't change them. What it will do is keep you stuck in a cycle of regret, preventing you from believing that you deserve something better. True forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about choosing to no longer let the past dictate your future. One of the most powerful realizations you can have is that your past does not define you. Just because you were hurt before doesn't mean you'll be hurt again. Just because you were abandoned doesn't mean you're unlovable. Just because love didn't work out in the past doesn't mean it never will. But if you keep carrying the same pain, fears, and unresolved emotions into each new relationship, you'll keep creating the same reality. You have to make a conscious choice to release what no longer serves you. A practical way to do this is by changing the story you tell yourself about love. If you've been hurt before, it's easy to adopt beliefs like love always ends in pain or I can't trust anyone. But these beliefs aren't facts, they're just interpretations based on past experiences. And if you keep believing them, you'll keep manifesting situations that reinforce them. Instead, start rewriting your narrative. Choose to believe that healthy love does exist, that trust can be rebuilt, and that you are worthy of a relationship that feels safe and fulfilling. Healing from the past isn't always easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. But every small step you take toward releasing old wounds is a step closer to the love you deserve. When you let go of past baggage, you free yourself from the weight of old pain. You become lighter, more open, and more available for real, lasting connection. You no longer look at new relationships through the lens of past heartbreak, and you stop punishing new people for the mistakes of those who came before them. Letting go isn't about pretending your past never happened. It's about deciding that it no longer has power over you. It's about choosing to move forward with wisdom instead of fear, with hope instead of hesitation. And when you do that, love no longer feels like something you have to chase. It becomes something that flows effortlessly toward you. Detaching from the outcome is one of the most freeing things you can do when it comes to love. Most people approach relationships with a deep desire to control how things unfold. They want certainty, guarantees, and clear signs that everything is going to work out exactly the way they envision. But love doesn't work like that. The more you try to control the outcome, the more anxiety, frustration, and disappointment you create for yourself. When you attach too strongly to a specific result, whether it's making someone fall for you, ensuring a relationship lasts forever, or trying to force someone to see your worth, you put yourself in a position of desperation and fear. You end up trying to mold situations and people to fit your expectations instead of allowing love to unfold naturally. At the root of attachment is fear, the fear of rejection, the fear of being alone, the fear that love might not happen for you the way you want it to. These fears lead you to overanalyze every interaction, read into every text, and constantly wonder where things are going. You become so fixated on making things happen that you miss out on experiencing the present moment for what it is. When you're overly attached, you stop enjoying love for what it feels like and start obsessing over what it means. Instead of appreciating the moments of connection, you're constantly seeking reassurance about the future. Instead of allowing someone to choose you freely, you try to control their feelings through over-effort or emotional pressure. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about shifting your mindset from needing a specific outcome to simply allowing things to unfold as they're meant to. It's about realizing that no single person or relationship determines your happiness or self-worth. When you detach, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of constant worry, disappointment, and overthinking. You learn to enjoy the process of love without being consumed by where it's leading. You allow people to come and go without forcing anything. You trust that what is meant for you will stay and what isn't will leave, and that's okay. A major part of detachment is recognizing that love is not about possession. Too often, people equate love with holding on tightly. They believe that if they just try hard enough, they can make someone stay or make someone love them back. But true love is never forced. It flows naturally. When you stop trying to control it, you give space for real connection to grow. You also protect yourself from unnecessary heartache, because instead of clinging to people who aren't choosing you, you let them go with grace, knowing that something better is ahead. One of the best ways to practice detachment is by shifting your focus back to yourself. Instead of making someone else the center of your happiness, prioritize your own fulfillment. Build a life that excites you, regardless of your relationship status. When you have a strong sense of self, you don't need love to complete you. You simply welcome it as an addition to an already full life. This shift in energy is powerful because people are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and contentment rather than desperation and fear. Another key aspect of detachment is trust. Trust that the right person will come at the right time. Trust that love will find you when it's meant to. Trust that you don't have to force or chase or prove yourself to be worthy of it. When you operate from trust rather than fear, you create an energy of openness and ease. You no longer feel the need to push or pull, you simply allow. It's also important to understand that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people come into your life to teach you something, to help you grow, or to serve a purpose for a certain season. When you detach from the idea that every connection must lead to a lifelong commitment, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. You stop resisting the natural flow of relationships and instead embrace each experience for what it is. Some love stories are short but meaningful. Some teach you lessons that prepare you for something better. And some will surprise you in ways you never expected. When you let go of attachment to the outcome, you experience love in its purest form, without fear, without pressure, without the need for control. You allow yourself to be present, to enjoy each moment, and to trust that whatever is meant for you will always find its way. The irony is that when you stop grasping for love, you become infinitely more attractive to it. Love thrives in freedom, and when you give yourself and others that freedom, the right connections will come effortlessly. Building a life you love first is one of the most important things you can do before love enters your life. Too often, people look for relationships to fill a void, believing that once they find the right person, everything will fall into place. They think love will bring happiness, purpose, and a sense of fulfillment that's been missing. But the truth is, if you don't already love your life, a relationship won't fix that. Relying on someone else to bring you joy or give your life meaning only creates unhealthy attachments and unrealistic expectations that constrain even the best connections. The foundation of a great relationship starts with you. Before love can thrive, you need to create a life that excites and fulfills you, one that doesn't depend on whether or not someone else is by your side. When your happiness is dependent on another person, you risk losing yourself in the relationship. You start making decisions based on what keeps the other person around rather than what truly aligns with your goals and desires. You may compromise too much, settle for less than you deserve, or tolerate situations that don't make you happy simply because you're afraid of being alone. When you focus on building a life you love, you shift from needing a relationship to wanting one in a healthy way. The difference is crucial. Neediness stems from emptiness, while desire comes from wholeness. When you feel complete on your own, love becomes an addition to your life, not the sole purpose of it. You attract people not because you're looking for someone to save you, but because you genuinely enjoy your life and want to share it with someone equally fulfilled, that kind of energy is magnetic. A fulfilling life starts with knowing yourself deeply, your passions, dreams, and values. Instead of waiting for a relationship to bring excitement, find ways to cultivate it yourself. Pursue hobbies that bring you joy, invest in personal growth, set goals that inspire you, and surround yourself with people who uplift you. When you have a life that energizes you, you won't feel desperate to find someone to complete it. You'll be so engaged in your journey that love will naturally align with you when the time is right. It's also important to develop emotional independence. Many people enter relationships expecting their partner to be their constant source of happiness, validation, and support. While a relationship should be a place of mutual care and encouragement, it shouldn't be the only thing keeping you emotionally stable. You need to cultivate self-love and resilience so that when challenges arise, you can handle them without relying entirely on another person. Learning to be happy on your own ensures that when love does come, it's a healthy complement to your life, not the foundation of your happiness. Building a life you love also means setting and maintaining standards. When you're fulfilled on your own, you won't settle for relationships that drain you or make you feel unworthy. You'll recognize your value and attract people who align with your energy. Too often, people who are unhappy with their lives accept love in any form, even when it's toxic or unfulfilling, simply because they fear being alone. But when you genuinely enjoy your own company and your life, you become selective. You no longer entertain relationships that don't serve you because you know your happiness isn't dependent on them. Another key benefit of building a fulfilling life first is that it prepares you for a strong relationship. When you know who you are and what makes you happy, you bring a sense of stability into any partnership. You won't lose yourself trying to fit someone else's expectations, and you'll be able to contribute to the relationship in a way that's healthy and balanced. Love should be two complete people coming together, not two incomplete people trying to fill each other's voids. Ironically, when you stop making love the main focus and start focusing on your own growth and joy, that's when love finds you. People are drawn to those who are passionate, confident, and genuinely happy. They want to be around someone who has their own purpose and direction rather than someone who is waiting for love to give their life meaning. By creating a fulfilling life, you become naturally attractive to the right kind of relationship, one based on mutual happiness rather than dependence. Love is a beautiful addition to life, but it's not the sole purpose of it. Your happiness, dreams, and sense of self should never be put on hold while waiting for love to arrive. The more you invest in yourself, the more you create an environment where love can thrive in a healthy, balanced way. So instead of searching for someone to complete you, focus on becoming the person who doesn't need to be completed. When you do that, the right person won't just find you, they'll be inspired by the life you've built and eager to be a part of it. Shifting from scarcity to abundance is one of the most powerful mindset changes you can make when it comes to love. Many people operate from a scarcity mindset without even realizing it. They believe love is rare, that good partners are hard to find, and that if they don't hold on to someone, no matter how imperfect the relationship is, they might end up alone forever. This mindset leads to desperation, settling for less than they deserve, and clinging to relationships that aren't right for them. It creates fear-based decisions rather than choices rooted in confidence and self-worth. When you believe that love is scarce, you start acting in ways that sabotage your happiness because deep down, you think that finding love is a matter of luck rather than alignment. An abundance mindset, on the other hand, shifts your entire approach to love. Instead of seeing relationships as something you have to fight for, you start recognizing that love is everywhere and that the right connection will come naturally when you're in the right place mentally and emotionally. It allows you to trust that even if a relationship doesn't work out, there are always new opportunities, new people, and new possibilities ahead. Love is not a limited resource. It's not something that only a lucky few get to experience while others are left out. The idea that all the good ones are taken or that you have to settle because it's hard to find someone is nothing more than a limiting belief that keeps you stuck. One of the biggest signs of a scarcity mindset is the fear of being alone. When you believe that love is rare, you may stay in unhealthy relationships far longer than you should because you think it's better than having nothing. You may ignore red flags, tolerate disrespect, or lower your standards just to keep someone around. But when you shift to an abundance mindset, you stop operating from fear. You start valuing yourself enough to walk away from relationships that don't align with what you truly want. You understand that letting go of the wrong person only makes space for the right one. Scarcity thinking also leads to jealousy and comparison. When you believe that love is in short supply, seeing others in happy relationships can make you feel like you're missing out or that there's something wrong with you. You might feel envious of people who seem to attract love effortlessly or wonder why things aren't working out for you the way they are for others. But an abundance mindset changes this. Instead of seeing someone else's love story as proof that you're lacking, you start seeing it as evidence that love is possible for you too. Other people's happiness doesn't take away from your own potential. It reinforces the idea that love is real, available, and within reach. To develop an abundance mindset, you have to start by reprogramming the way you think about love. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, start focusing on what is already present in your life. Love isn't just romantic. It exists in friendships, family, passion projects, and the way you treat yourself. When you cultivate love in all forms, you start attracting it more easily because your energy shifts from longing and lack to appreciation and fulfillment. You stop searching for love as if it's missing, and instead start recognizing that you already have it in different ways. This mindset makes you more confident, more at peace, and ultimately more attractive to the right kind of relationship. Another way to embody abundance is to stop fixating on one specific person or outcome. When you believe love is scarce, you may latch onto someone, even if they aren't right for you, because you fear you won't find anyone better. You may put all your energy into making a single relationship work, even when it's clear that it's not meant to. But when you adopt an abundance mindset, you release this attachment. You understand that one person isn't your only chance at love, and that if something isn't working, it's not the end of the world. It's just redirection towards something better. You trust that love will come in many forms throughout your life and that you never have to force it. Shifting from scarcity to abundance gives you freedom. It allows you to date with confidence rather than fear, to enjoy connections for what they are instead of constantly worrying about where they're going, and to trust that the universe has more in store for you than you can imagine. Love isn't something that has to be chased, forced, or desperately held onto. It flows when you align yourself with the right mindset. One that knows love isn't limited, that you are worthy of great love, and that what is meant for you will always find you in the right time. Embodying self-worth is the foundation for attracting the kind of love you truly deserve. Too many people enter relationships without fully believing in their own value, and as a result, they accept less than they should. When you don't recognize your worth, you may tolerate mistreatment, settle for relationships that drain you, or constantly seek external validation to feel good about yourself. But love that is built on insecurity is never fulfilling. It leads to codependency, emotional highs and lows, and a constant fear of rejection. True love, the kind that lasts and makes you feel safe, can only be built when both people show up as whole individuals, fully aware of their own value. One of the biggest signs that someone lacks self-worth in relationships is the tendency to overcompensate. If you don't feel worthy of love as you are, you may go out of your way to prove yourself. You might overextend, people please, or constantly try to earn someone's affection by sacrificing your own needs. This often creates unbalanced dynamics where one person is giving far more than they receive. But real love isn't something you have to prove yourself worthy of. It's something that flows naturally when two people respect and appreciate each other equally. When you truly embody self-worth, you stop chasing love and start attracting it. You no longer feel the need to convince someone of your value because you already know it for yourself. Another way low self-worth shows up is in the fear of setting boundaries. Many people avoid expressing their needs or saying no because they're afraid of pushing others away. They believe that if they speak up, set standards, or demand respect, they'll be seen as difficult, and the other person might leave. But boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about creating healthy relationships where both people feel safe and respected. When you know your worth, you don't allow people to treat you poorly. You don't tolerate dishonesty, disrespect, or inconsistent behavior. Because you understand that being alone is better than being in a relationship that diminishes you. Self-worth is also closely tied to how you handle rejection. When you don't fully believe in yourself, rejection can feel personal, as if it confirms your deepest fears about not being good enough. You may internalize it, question what's wrong with you, or try to change yourself to fit what you think someone else wants. But when you have strong self-worth, you understand that rejection is simply redirection. It doesn't mean you're unlovable or inadequate. It just means that person wasn't the right fit for you. And when you truly believe in your value, you don't feel the need to chase after anyone who doesn't see it. You trust that the right person will recognize your worth without you having to convince them. Another key aspect of embodying self-worth is recognizing that love should add to your happiness, not be the source of it. Many people make the mistake of looking for a relationship to fill a void, believing that once they find love, they'll finally feel complete. But relying on another person for your sense of worth puts immense pressure on the relationship and often leads to disappointment. Instead of looking for love to validate you, focus on building a life that already feels meaningful and fulfilling. When you are happy on your own, you enter relationships from a place of confidence rather than need. You are no longer searching for someone to complete you. You are looking for someone to grow with, to share experiences with, and to complement the life you've already created. The way you speak to yourself also plays a huge role in self-worth. If your inner dialogue is filled with self-criticism, doubt, or negative beliefs about love, those thoughts will shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that love always ends in pain, or that you have to settle, you will unconsciously attract situations that confirm those beliefs. Shifting your mindset requires conscious effort. Start affirming your worth daily. Remind yourself that you are deserving of love, respect, and happiness, not because of what you do, but simply because of who you are. The more you reinforce positive beliefs about yourself, the more naturally you will embody them. When you fully step into your self-worth, everything about the way you approach love changes. You become more selective, not out of arrogance, but out of respect for yourself. You stop entertaining relationships that drain you. You stop fearing rejection because you know that the right person will never require you to shrink yourself. You stop settling for almost relationships, breadcrumbs, or inconsistent effort because you understand that real love is consistent, secure, and mutual. And most importantly, you realize that your worth was never something that needed to be proven. It was always there, waiting for you to recognize it. By embodying self-worth, you don't just attract better relationships, you transform your entire experience of love. You no longer approach it from a place of fear, neediness, or desperation. Instead, you step into love with confidence, knowing that you deserve to be chosen, cherished, and respected. And when you carry yourself with that energy, the right person will have no choice but to meet you at that level. Trusting the timing of love is one of the hardest yet most liberating things you can do. In a world that constantly pushes the idea that love should happen by a certain age or in a specific way, it's easy to feel like you're behind if you haven't found the right person yet. You may compare yourself to others, wondering why love seems to come so easily to them while you're still waiting. You might feel pressured to settle, to rush into relationships just to avoid being alone, or to force something that isn't meant to be. But love is not a race. It is not something you can control, manipulate, or chase down. It arrives when it is meant to, and trusting that timing can bring an incredible sense of peace. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to control when and how love happens. They set rigid timelines, believing that by a certain age they should be married, have kids, or be in a long-term relationship. When things don't unfold according to that timeline, they panic. They start settling for relationships that don't truly fulfill them, just to meet external expectations. But love doesn't follow a schedule. It doesn't care about societal pressure, deadlines, or what your friends are doing. It happens in its own perfect time, often when you least expect it. Fighting against that only leads to frustration, but embracing it allows you to experience love in its most natural, effortless form. Trusting the timing of love also means letting go of the fear that you're running out of time. Many people worry that if they don't find love soon, they never will. This fear can push them into relationships that aren't right, simply because they believe something is better than nothing. But making decisions from a place of fear never leads to true happiness. Instead of worrying about whether love will come, focus on becoming the best version of yourself so that when it does arrive, you're truly ready for it. The right relationship isn't just about finding someone, it's about being in the right place emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to receive that love fully. Another key part of trusting the timing of love is understanding that delays and heartbreaks are often necessary steps on the path to the right relationship. Sometimes what feels like rejection or failure is actually redirection. A relationship that didn't work out might have saved you from something that wasn't meant for you. A season of being single might be exactly what you need to grow, to heal, or to discover more about yourself. Every experience, whether painful or joyful, is shaping you into the person who will be fully ready for love when it arrives. Instead of resenting the time it's taking, trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Patience is a huge part of trusting the timing of love. We live in a world of instant gratification where we expect everything to happen quickly, but love doesn't work that way. Real, lasting love is built over time. It requires patience, growth, and the willingness to wait for the right person instead of just the available one. When you trust the timing of love, you no longer feel desperate to find it. You stop trying to force connections and you allow relationships to develop naturally. This patience prevents you from settling and ensures that when love does come, it is built on a solid foundation rather than rushed emotions. Trusting love's timing also means letting go of comparison. It's easy to look at friends, family members, or even strangers on social media and feel like you're missing out. You see engagements, weddings, and happy couples everywhere. And it makes you question why it hasn't happened for you yet. But everyone's journey is different. Just because love happened for someone else at a certain time doesn't mean your story should look the same. Comparing yourself to others only steals your joy and blinds you to the unique beauty of your own path. Your love story will unfold exactly as it's meant to, in the way that is right for you, not anyone else. The greatest gift you can give yourself is peace in the waiting. Instead of constantly worrying about when love will come, use this time to focus on yourself. Build a life that excites you, pursue your passions, strengthen your friendships, and become the person who will be ready for the love you desire. Love is not something that completes you. It is something that enhances what you already have. The more fulfilled you are in your own life, the more naturally love will find its way to you. At the end of the day, trusting the timing of love is about surrendering control and embracing faith. It's about believing that what is meant for you will never pass you by and that the universe is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. Instead of forcing love, allow it to unfold. Instead of chasing it, trust that it will come when the time is right. And when it does, it will be even better than you imagined, because it will have arrived at the exact moment you were truly ready to receive it. Love is not something you chase, force, or control. It is something you align with. It is something that finds you